Aravallis are in danger and there is an urgent need to support the ecosystem. Now, according to many reports floating on social media and online, according to them, 90% of Aravalli is going to be vanished and is going to be diluted because of this new rule which has come up by the Honorable Supreme Court of India and the Ministry of Environment in our country.
It's a range most people do not notice at all, but one that protects Delhi and its neighboring regions every single day. I'm talking about the Aravallis.
These are a mountain range that most people hardly notice. It is a line of hills that looks ordinary from a national highway, but it plays an extraordinary role in North India. These are the Aravallis.
Total Aravalli ka area 1,47,000 square kilometer hai.
Out of the total 1.44 lakh square kilometers of the Aravalli range, only 0.19% of the area may be eligible for mining. The rest of the Aravalli remains fully protected and safeguarded.
हर तरीके से नहीं हो सकती.
Demonstrators accuse authorities of diluting protections for what they call the lungs of North India. While some protesters were detained as tensions flared, online campaigns like #Save Aravalli have also been gaining momentum.
Now, in November of 2025, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has adopted a uniform definition for Aravalli Hills. That is the hills of 100 meters or higher above the local ground, which sparked concerns that this could weaken the legal protection which was earlier given to Aravallis, earlier given to the range, and making large parts of Aravalli range available and vulnerable to mining, to resorts, to real estate and construction activities as well, which could definitely weaken the entire ecosystem and which would definitely impact our environment in a very definitive and credible way. Now, this particular decision has triggered widespread public protest, political reactions, and the #Save Aravalli campaign as well. Now, according to the definitions floating online, several experts online on social media and different other platforms are highlighting that the new definition of Aravalli says that Aravalli or hills only to that extent will be protected that from top till the bottom 100 meter, only that much amount of hill will be protected, and all the rest remaining hill can be vulnerable to mining activities, can be vulnerable to construction activities and so on. But the Honorable Environment Minister does not agree with this, which is why he came up for a press conference and he said that all these definitions floating online are dubious, are incorrect and are not related to any of the facts, which is why he stated again that the definition of Aravalli means that from the bottom of the hill upwards towards 100 meters, Aravalli would be protected, which means the bottom would be protected and up till 100 meters the peak would be protected as well. And also if there are two peaks and there is a 500-meter distance between them, in that particular distance of the two peaks, in that particular distance as well, the land which comes in between will also be considered as Aravallis. Which is why, according to the Union Minister of Environment, based on this new definition, more than 90% of the Aravallis would be safe. And more than 90% of the Aravallis would be coming under the protected area, and no mining, no construction activity would be allowed in this particular area. So according to the Union Ministry of Environment, all the reports earlier being circulated in online portals, in different platforms are not correct and are incorrect. Now, why Aravalli range is ecologically so important for the northern part of our country? What are the challenges and what are the threats to Aravalli range, and what has the government done in this regard, and different other information which you as an informed citizen should know about Aravallis, we'll be discussing in this particular session. Hello, my name is Preetpal Singh and you all are watching Perspective. Now, first of all, let's talk in detail about the Aravalli range. Now, the Aravalli range is a mountainous range in the northwestern part of our country, the northwestern part of India. And it runs approximately 670 kilometers in the southwest direction. Now, it starts near Delhi, passes through southern Haryana and Rajasthan and ending in Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Now, the highest peak of Aravalli range is Guru Shikhar in Mount Abu, which is in Rajasthan, which is at the height of 1722 meter or 5650 feet. And Aravalli range also, you'll be surprised to know, is the oldest fold mountain bed in India. So it is the oldest fold mountain bed in India and it dates back to Paleo-Proterozoic age. Now, Aravallis are around 2000 million years old and it was formed during Aravalli-Delhi orogeny due to the tectonic plate collisions. The present-day Aravallis are highly eroded remnants of a much larger prehistoric mountainous system which existed in that landform. having been reduced over several years due to weathering and due to erosion. Now, Aravalli as a mountainous range is climatically and ecologically very, very important for the northern part of our country. It acts as a natural barrier against the Thar Desert expansion into the northwestern India. Also, since Aravalli is located in the semi-arid region, it receives around 500 to 700 meters of rainfall annually, and which is why the Aravalli range also functions as a major watershed dividing drainage between the Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea as well. The landscape of Aravalli, it supports dry deciduous forests, grasslands and wetlands to an extent as well, with a unique mix of Saharan, peninsular and oriental biodiversity, which is again very, very diverse. And in this Aravalli region itself, there are around 22 wildlife sanctuaries, which is a huge number, and 3 tiger reserves. And also, it provides habitat for several endangered species in our country like tiger, leopard, Indian wolf, sloth bear, Great Indian bustard as well. Alongside this, Aravalli range is very much rich in minerals as well, with over 70 commercial valuable minerals available in the region, which includes either zinc, lead, silver, tungsten, marble, granite, etc. And not just this, Aravalli range also houses UNESCO World Heritage sites like Chittorgarh and Kumbhalgarh Fort as well. But the problem is that even though Aravallis are so much geologically and ecologically important for our country, but still over the last many decades and centuries, Aravallis have experienced significant amount of deforestation, significant amount of mining, rapid urbanization and grazing pressures, again putting pressure on the ecosystem of Aravallis. Several hills altogether have completely disappeared in the ranges. Forest cover has declined significantly and sharply, and rainfall duration has reduced significantly as well, altering the entire climatic conditions of Aravalli altogether. Also, these changes have triggered problems like soil erosion, aquifer damage in the Aravalli range, desert gap expansion and worsening air pollution, especially which is affecting Delhi-NCR region. Now, since you all know that Aravalli ran in 4 different states, so the meaning of Aravalli in each of the states was very, very different, which is why on November of 2025, Honorable Supreme Court of India came up with the definition of Aravallis, that this will be the definition of Aravalli, a particular definition they gave, and any other land which is not Aravalli can be used for mining or for construction activities and will not be protected. Now, this particular definition, which is given by the Supreme Court, says that Aravallis is defined as any landform that rises 100 meters or more above the surrounding local terrain, and all those hills would be protected as a part of Aravalli under this particular notification and order. And also, I told you that if a cluster of 2 or more than 2 hills are located adjacent to each other and located within 500 meters of each other, all the land in between will also be considered as Aravallis and will be protected as a part of Aravallis itself. Also, not just this, the Honorable Supreme Court of India has also directed a temporary ban on issuing new mining licenses in areas which are following under the definition until a management plan for sustainable mining, that is MPSM, a management plan for sustainable mining, is prepared by the Indian Council of Forest Research and Education. And which is why the central government has also assured that the Supreme Court given definition and approved framework does not dilute Aravalli protection or allows large-scale mining. It is not doing any of this. And also the government says that no new mining license will be generated or will be granted until a management plan for sustainable mining is finalized. Also, the government itself highlights and assumes this illegal mining to be the main threat and supports a stronger monitoring and enforcement, including the use of drones and surveillance technologies to protect Aravalli range altogether. Now, since the controversy over this new definition is very clear to all of us, Environment Minister, Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change has categorically said that more than 90% of the Aravallis will be protected and mining would be done in not more than 2% of the entire Aravalli range, and that too even lesser than that. And of course, in Delhi-NCR, mining is not even allowed. So Aravalli range in Delhi-NCR, in that particular region, no mining whatsoever would be done. Now, since this is done, one very important thing for us to understand is that what other remedial steps or measures can be taken to protect this ecosystem of Aravallis. See, one very important one is scientific identification and mapping of all the regions. So, using a comprehensive standardized method for mapping hills, ranges, slopes, valleys, recharge zones, and wildlife corridors, there needs to be authoritative data sets for it, and proper technology and proper infrastructure needs to be there. So, graded and risk-based control needs to be applied on mining activities which will be supported supported by a clear criteria for prohibition, a clear criteria for regulation and monitoring as well. This is one step which can be done. Another step is you need to prevent illegal mining whatsoever. Now, of course, one rationale given by the government is that if we allow legal mining to an extent, illegal mining would be curbed. But that is not the entire case, and which is why we need to strengthen our monitoring systems, our surveillance systems, and enforcement mechanisms so that institutionally we can coordinate with each other and technology based tools can be deployed in order to ensure that illegal mining is prevented whatsoever. And not just this, since a lot of Aravalli has already degraded, deforested and has gone bad. Now that's not all. Since a lot of ranges in Aravalli have gone bad, they have suffered deforestation, they have suffered all the set of problems, which is why ecological restoration and management is very, very integral. Also, we should always remember that restoring the Aravalli region and Aravalli ecosystem is very, very critical, very, very important for water regulation in our country, for biodiversity, for climate resilience, and to meet India's commitments under the Paris Agreement, under the Bonn Challenge, and under the land degradation neutrality challenge as well, while safeguarding local livelihoods in the region. So, very clear-cut, balanced, stakeholder approach is required when we are dealing with such sensitive issues like Save Aravallis. I hope you got a clear picture and a different perspective from this particular session. Do let me know what are your views in the comment section. I'll be very happy to read them. All the very best. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.